Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear student teachers, I am Rashid Salim with lecture number 19 of Functional English 1. In this lecture, we are going to describe people. It might not be very common speech function of describing people, but it is really very crucial because we are normally very sensitive about our appearances and about our personalities. So we have to be really very careful when we are describing ourselves and when we are describing others. And so this is an important language function that we need to learn, and that's why today we have chosen to talk about describing people. Previously you have learned narrative texts, how to narrate events, how to tell stories, whether it is fiction or non-fiction. But today you are beginning to learn how to describe. In today's lecture, lecture number 19, you will describe people. In the next lecture, you will be able to describe places and pictures. So are you ready? Okay. Let's start with the recap of the previous lecture. In lecture number 18, we learned something very different. We learned to read riddles and jokes and funny texts. And in the meantime, we also used we also tried to understand some of the literary devices, such as puns and idioms that make something funny. Now, the objectives of lecture number 19 are that if you complete all the activities in it, you should be able to describe people's physical appearances. So their physical description. You will also be able to describe their personalities, the characteristics or the features that they have or that they lack. One of the sub-skills that you will learn in this lecture is using descriptive adjectives and phrases. They will really be helpful in meeting out the overall objective of lecture number 19. And finally, you would also listen to some natural conversations by the native speakers. And the purpose is to provide you an opportunity to listen to the native speakers, to be exposed to the native speakers, so that you can tune your ears to the language and you can improve your listening. All these conversations will be regarding describing people, since that is the theme of lecture number 19. Okay, so how do we describe people? Let's begin by looking at different aspects of the physical appearance. We begin with the physical appearance, and the things that usually help us differ one person from another person are these, like hair, like eyes and face, skin, height and build, and clothing, and general appearance. But usually it's hair and eyes that make most of the difference. But anyway, the rest of the things like the shape of the face, the color of the skin, the height and build is equally important. All right, so what do we do when we describe hair? What kind of vocabulary do we use when we talk about someone's hair? There could be different colors of hair. Hair could be brown, they could be red, and of course they could be white, they could be black, and they could be blonde. Blonde is a common word for the color of hair. It is if someone has golden hair or kind of golden yellow hair, it's called blonde hair. If someone has got blonde hair, especially a girl, we can call that girl a blonde. Similarly, if some girl has got brown hair, we can call her a brunette. If someone doesn't have hair at all, we might call him or her, most probably him, as bald. Okay. Apart from the color of the hair, we also have different shapes, different kinds of hair. So you know the kind of hair that African people have, they are called afro. Hair could be long, they could be short, they could be shoulder length, they could be straight, wavy, or curly. So we'll use all these vocabulary items when we will describe people and their hair. How about eyes? What words come to your mind when you think of eyes? Eyes could be round, they could be short, they could be big, they could be like almonds, right? You can also talk about eyelashes, eyebrows if you want to. Some people have double eyelids. Some people have very thick eyebrows. Some people have very thin lined eyebrows. And some people have very brushy eyelashes, etc., etc. How about face? We'll talk about the detail of different kinds of faces, the shapes of faces in the coming slides. So I'm just going to skip it. How about skin? Or usually we use the word complexion. Complexion is the color. The color of the face is called complexion. Well, there are different races. There are brown, white, black, and yellow people. But we can also say that he or she has got fair skin, dark skin, etc., etc. Height and build are important if you are not merely looking at the face, but you are looking at the complete body structure. So if someone is tall or short or slim or plump or obese, I mean fat. If someone is chubby little fellow is like someone who is short but who is heavy, or you can use the words overweight and etc., etc. Well built, right? Muscular, skinny. So these are some of the words that we can use for describing appearances. Similarly, we can also describe the kind of things that people are wearing. If they are wearing glasses, if they are wearing a particular kind of shoes, and we can also talk about different kinds of clothing. If you think that I'm using so many words that are new to you, don't worry. We will look into these words in detail soon. And apart from these important features, we can also look at some sentences that are of general appearance. All right, so in order to describe appearances, we need to look at normally these objects, these parts of body. Let's move on and have a look at different kinds of hair. Hair, as I said earlier, they could be long, they could be short, or someone might not have any hair at all. Hair could be of medium length, or they could be really very short. And similarly, hair could be long and black, hair could be short, right? And this one is long, black and straight. She has long, straight, black hair. Okay? And here she has short, straight, black hair. He has, poor guy, he has no hair. So if someone doesn't have a hair, we call him bald. B-A-L-D, bald. Some people are slightly bald, okay? And some people are balding, that means they are becoming bald gradually, okay? And some people are completely bald. Don't confuse this baldness with someone who shaves his head, right? If someone has shaved his head, you can't call him bald. Instead, you would call him, you would say that he shaves his head. Okay, then you have medium length hair, and she is a blonde here because she has a golden yellow color hair. Well, she has got wavy hair, and she has got red hair and medium length, whereas she has got short hair, she's blonde, and she has curly short hair. We don't have any sample of afro hair here, but I think you have an idea, because some of the Africans, they have really very short hair, and they are easily identifiable as afro hair. Okay, we move on and we look at different kinds of faces, different shapes of faces. So some people have got heart-shaped face. If you just look at the outline of the face here, it is just like a heart. Some people have very long face. Okay? Some people have oval face. Oval is just like an egg. Some people have triangular features. They have, their face looks like a triangle. Sometimes this could be like an inverted triangle as well, but that's really very rare. Then you have some people who have squarish face. Okay, some people don't really have long face. Instead, they have longish face, right? Some people have square or squarish face, and some people also have a round face. So this really helps us in describing people, especially to the painters and artists. Okay, now we also look at clothing. There are various pieces of clothing that can be worn by the people, but let me just check if you know the names of some of these. What do you think is this? That's right. If you said it is a jacket, yes, you are right. It's a jacket. What about this one? It's a t-shirt. That's right. This one? Trousers or pants. What about this one? Jeans. Yes, and they are also called denims or jeans. What about this? This is a skirt. This one is a belt, and a belt has a buckle here, and it has a fly. And then you have various kinds of buttons with different kinds of buttons, and then you have the zipper here. What are these? Slippers. We call this boot or jack boots. Joggers, sports shoes, okay. Shoes, and these are laces, shoelaces. Then you have a pea cap, you have a hat, Okay, here we have a tie, a necktie, and necktie here has a knot, right? This one is a sandal, this one is a flip-flop, this one is a suit, three-piece suit, this one is a waistcoat, okay, and this one is a suit, and instead of a tie here you have a bow tie. Okay. And these are the undergarments, underwears, socks, and a gown or a sleeping gown or a sleeping dress. So if you know these words, it will be easier for you to describe people. Okay, we continue with clothing, because clothing really has lots of vocabulary that you need to learn. If you just look at this man here, he is wearing a jacket, and this part of the jacket, this one is called lapel, right? And then you have a crease in his trousers. Some trousers are really straight and some have crease in it. We use it in Urdu as well, so that's not difficult. He is wearing pants and he is wearing a suit. Okay, but this man here is has rolled up his sleeves. He is wearing a tie and he is wearing suspenders, like two stripes with which usually the pants are attached. So these are called suspenders. Well, here this one is he is wearing a shirt, a belt, a fly, a cuff. This one is sleeve. Okay. Here he has the breast pocket. He is wearing jeans. Right. So you can have a look at this, and I'll provide this one for you as a handout so that you can learn these words later on and you can practice them while you have to actually describe someone. There are some dresses that are different. We don't wear them very often in Pakistan, so maybe they are new, and you should therefore you should look at these pictures in order to get an idea. We've got different kinds of shirts here. This one is called a polo shirt. This one is called a cardigan. Cardigan is open in front, and either you have a zip or you have buttons in front. That is called a cardigan. And here you have the windbreaker, right? It's like made of parachute, and especially when it is windy, it is worn, and you don't get cold when there are cold winds are blowing. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to go through each and every object here. I'm just going to give this as a handout, and I would like you to practice it using these vocabulary items. Okay, now here we have some other describing words. There are different features that make people prominent, and these are just few. Like you have wrinkles. Especially old people, they have wrinkles on their face. Their skin is not smooth. It's not soft anymore. There are wrinkles on the face. Then you have freckles. Usually the teenagers, they have freckles on their face. Bald, we have already discussed. Okay, I fall into this category, by the way. Maybe not completely bald, but almost bald. Okay, crew cut is like, we might also call it cadet cut. because the army cadets, they have such haircut. This one is called parting, how you part your hair. Either you part your hair in the middle or you part your hair in the right, on the right or on the left. So part is जिसको उर्दू में चीर कहते हैं, right? She parts her hair in the middle. She also parts her hair in the middle, right? And she's cross-eyed here, right? She has got curly hair, right? This I don't need to explain. She is wearing a bun, right? You know, you must have eaten bun, but this one is a hair bun, right? So she wears her hair in a bun. Okay, so these are just a few describing words. Let's continue with few more. And here you have a fringe. Fringe is like short hair that fall onto the forehead. This is called a fringe. And she is wearing braces. You know, some people, they have very loose teeth, so they have braces on their teeth. Here he has mustaches, and these one are called braids. Okay, girls often have such braids. Beard, I have a beard. Then you have pimples, pimples on the face. This is a kind of you can say a kind of a disease, skin disease, and people when they have pimples, they go for different kinds of creams and cosmetics. Okay, this one is a ponytail because it looks like the tail of a pony. Pony is a small horse, little horse. Then you have sideburns. These are sideburns. Okay, some people, there used to be a fashion when people used to wear long sideburns. Okay, okay, her hair are straight. Her hair, this one is called pigtails. Pigtails. This one is ponytail. This one is pigtails. And these hair are wavy. Okay, these are straight. Okay, so these are some few more describing words. Now I want you to look at these and try to describe these people. Let's have a look at this one first. What kind of hair has he got? He is? That's right, he is bald. Okay, and what kind of face has he got? He's got round face. He's got round eyes. All right. Okay, and he is wearing glasses. How about this? Peep. Peep has got short hair, short brown hair, and he has got big eyes, right? And he has got heart-shaped face. Whereas the next face, this one is like a triangular face, and she has got white hair, short white hair. He is wearing a hat, and he has got mustaches here. Whereas this gentleman here, he has got beard, right? Sometimes you only have a beard here, which is called a French cut. Maybe someone has got it here. This one maybe, not really. No, we don't have a French cut here, I think. Yes. All right, look at her. She is also wearing a hat. She is wearing glasses as well, and she has got a kind of a diamond-shaped face. She has got long hair, and probably red hair, and she parts her hair in the middle. He also parts his hair in the middle, and he has got red hair, long red hair, and he has got mustaches that droop low, that point downwards. She has got white hair, and she parts her on the left. He is bald, but he has got a beard. So in this way, you see, you can describe various people. She's also wearing earrings here. Okay, so different people have got different features, and you can describe them. Okay, now so far we have looked at some useful vocabulary to describe people. Now you are going to listen to a dialogue. There is going to be a listening task here. You are going to listen to Sarah, and you are going to write down the answers to the following questions. Okay, I would like you to go through these questions first and thoroughly understand these questions, and then take notes when you listen to the dialogue. Luckily, this dialogue will be repeated twice. For each question, it will be repeated twice. First time, it will be in natural pace. Second time, the same dialogue will be played in slightly slow speed, so that you can understand it better, and so that you can also take it down. You can note it down. So I would like you to keep a pen and a piece of paper in front of you while you listen to this. I would like you to take notes and answer the questions given here. Maybe you should write the questions on your piece of paper first, and when you listen to the dialogue, you can actually write down the answers there. And then you are going to then we are going to share the answers. So are you ready? Are you ready for listening? Okay, good. So here I'm going to play the audio file for you. So be attentive and listen carefully.
1. Tell me about your father. What kind of person is he?
Well, he's very friendly, smart, and funny.
Tell me about your father. What kind of person is he?
Well, he's very friendly, smart, and funny.
2. What does he look like?
He's young, short, and handsome. He has straight black hair and green eyes.
What does he look like?
He's young, short, and handsome. He has straight black hair and green eyes.
3. What does your mother look like?
She's tall, thin, and beautiful. She has blonde hair and wears glasses.
What does your mother look like?
She's tall, thin, and beautiful. She has blonde hair and wears glasses.
4. How about your little sister?
She has curly red hair and a cute smile. Everybody likes her.
How about your little sister?
She has curly red hair and a cute smile. Everybody likes her.
Okay, well done. I hope you have listened to it and you have noted down the answers to the questions. I hope it was not very difficult, was it? Okay, great. So let's move on. Let's look at the answers. So what's your answer to question number 1? What kind of person is her father? Okay, here's the answer. He is very friendly, smart, and funny. He's very friendly, smart, and funny. That's right. Okay, what does he look like? This is a very common question when we want to know about the physical description of someone. What does he look like? What does she look like? Right? So when we want someone to describe someone else, we say, what does he look like? What does she look like? Okay, so what's your answer to this question? What does he look like? That's right. He's young, short, and handsome. I was really wondering because Sarah herself seems to be an adult, and she's talking about her father, and she says that he's young, short, and handsome. Okay. Anyway, but this is the right answer. And she also says he has straight black hair and green eyes. Straight black hair and green eyes. Okay. And what does her mother look like? Here's the answer. She's tall, thin, and beautiful. She has blonde hair and wears glasses. I hope you got that correct. Okay. We move on to the last question, which is, how does her little sister look like? So again, does look like is a question which is asked to give description, physical description, physical appearance. So how does her little sister look like? The answer is that she has curly red hair and a cute smile. Everybody likes her. Okay, I would like to make one point here before we move on. Curly red hair. Okay, one thing is that hair is always used as hair. You don't say hairs. She has got hair. Okay, so the singular and plural form of hair is the same. One hair, two hair, three hair, four hair. Please make sure that you don't say hairs. You must say hair. Second thing that I want you to note here is that sometimes you have more than one adjective to describe a noun. Like hair has got two adjectives here, curly and red. Similarly, here we have got three adjectives, young, short, and handsome. Here we've got two adjectives, straight, black hair. Okay. And here we've got three adjectives, tall, thin, and beautiful. So when you have got more than one adjective, the question arises, how should you order them? So whether you should say red curly hair or curly red hair. Whether you should say black straight hair or straight black hair. What's the rule in English? Do you know? If you have got different adjectives, how would you order them before a noun? And you want to use all these adjectives together, how would you order them? How would you arrange them? Well, the magical word is opshacom. Yes, write it down. O-P-S-H-A-C-O-M. Opshacom. I repeat. O-P-S-H-A-C-O-M. Opshacom. Now, why do I want you to memorize or write down this this magic word? Because this magic word will tell you the order in which adjectives should appear before a noun. So if you want to use more than one adjective, you should actually follow this rule. Opshacom is spelled as O-P-S-H-A-C-O-M, in which the first two letters, op, O, and P, stand for opinion. The second two letters, S-H, stand for shape. The third letter A stands for age. C stands for color. O stands for origin. And M stands for material. I think you should write it down. I should have made a slide on that, but it just came to my mind right now. So I want you to write that down. OP stands for opinion. SH stands for shape. A stands for age. C for color. O for origin. And M for material. There are different kinds of adjectives, you know. Some adjectives describe the shape. Some adjectives give opinion of the speaker. Some adjectives tell us what matter it is made up of. What material is it made up of. Some adjectives tell us the color or age of the object or the person. For example, just look at this table here. If I want to say this table, we can use different adjectives to describe this table. This table is brown. It is rectangular in shape. It is wooden, made of wood. It is probably Pakistani, made in Pakistan. So if you want to use, and I would also say that it is nice. Okay. So if you want to use all these adjectives, how would you order them? Whether you would say this is brown, wooden, Pakistani, nice table, or whether you would say this is nice, Pakistani, brown, wooden table. How would you use all these adjectives in one sentence? The answer is in your magic word, and if you can recall, the magical word is opshacom. So out of all these adjectives, first you should think of op. That means opinion. So which adjective expresses my opinion about this table? That's right, nice. The word nice expresses my opinion about this table. So the word nice will come first. Okay. After that we have the word shape. After op we need shape. For shape, the adjective I used was rectangular. Okay. So we would say nice, rectangular. And after that, after opinion and shape, we have age. Well, I can use the word old or new for this table. This is probably an old one. So I can say nice, rectangular, old. Okay, but stay here and wait here, and let's move on to the next adjective. After opinion and shape, I've got age, and then I've got color. So what color is this table? Brown. That's right. So I would say nice, rectangular, old, brown. Okay, hang on. After color we will use origin. And where did this object originate from? So we can say Pakistani because it was made in Pakistan. Okay. And after origin we have M, which stands for material. What is it made of? It is made of wood, so we can say wooden. So using the word, keeping the word opshacom in my mind, I can say that this is nice, rectangular, old, brown, Pakistani, wooden table. जी यहाँ ब्रेक लेंगे. वापस आते हैं. Okay, but normally, of course, you don't need to use so many adjectives in just one sentence. So this was just an extreme example that I gave you. normally you just have 2 or 3 adjectives. So you will arrange them in the same order as Opshacom. For example, if you just look at this straight black hair, black is color and straight is shape. Okay, so you would use shape before the color, because in Opshacom shape comes before the color. Okay, and if you've got 3 adjectives like friendly, smart and funny, and all these are based on opinion, you can actually rearrange them in any order you like. Generally speaking, you start with the general opinion to the specific opinion, but I mean, you can be flexible there. Okay, curly red hair. So curly is the shape, red is the color. So you can't say red curly hair. You shouldn't say black straight hair, because color should come later and the shape should come earlier. Okay, that was probably quite a mouthful. So let's move on to the next activity. And the next activity is really interesting. Here you look at pictures of some famous actors and actresses. Maybe you know some of them, but probably if I had not written their names, you wouldn't have been able to recognize them, because they are all grown-ups now. Some of them may already be dead, probably. Maybe. Majority of them are not, I think. They are still alive, but these are pictures of their childhood. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to describe one of these, and I would like you to be attentive and tell me who I am describing. So tell me the name of the person I am describing. Okay, so वापस आते हैं. All right, the person I am describing has got short hair. He's got broad smiling face. He's got thin lips, and he is wearing a V-shaped checked shirt, and he has got a fringe that covers all of his forehead. So who am I describing? That's right, very good. It's Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay, very good. Want to try another one? Okay. The person that I'm going to describe now has got short brown hair, and he has got an oval face, he's got big eyes, and he has got a very small mouth, and he is wearing suspenders. So who am I describing this time? That's right, I'm describing Ricky Martin. Okay, so maybe you can look at some such pictures from magazines, newspapers, and then you can, with your partner, you can describe them. It's a pretty interesting game, and you can also introduce such game in your language class as well if you teach English language or any other language. Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on. All right, so far we have been able to describe the physical appearances of the people and their clothing. Now, what if we want to describe the personality of a person? Okay, different people have got different kinds of personalities. Some people, for example, are really very attentive in the class. You know, some students, they are really very attentive. The others are unattentive. They don't pay attention at all. Okay, some people are really calm, cool and calm. Okay, so they are not disturbed by things. They respond almost equally to everything. They are not very overexcited. They are not, so they are very calm, opposite of rough. Okay, cheeky. Cheeky is someone who is naughty, who always thinks of some mischiefs, and especially who uses language which is really very smart. I don't need to explain intelligent. Then you have some people who are faithful, you can rely on them. The next word, pessimist. Pessimistic is what we learned in the previous lecture. There was a joke about pessimism. So pessimistic is someone who always looks at the dark side of reality. Friendly, I don't need to explain it. Good-tempered. Good-tempered means someone who has got a very positive attitude and who meets people with a smile on his face, and he is always amusing. Happy, hardworking, honest, nervous. Okay, lots of students are nervous when they appear in the exams. Humble. Humble means not very proud. So who doesn't show pride, although he might have talent, but he always has keeps the low profile. Lively. Lively is an active and energetic person. Obedient, like a dog is obedient. Obedient is someone who obeys your orders. Optimistic is the opposite of pessimistic, someone who always looks to the bright side of the picture. So these are just few personalities. In fact, I will provide you with a handout in this lecture, and in that handout you will have a list of a list of a very detailed list of adjectives that you can use in order to describe various personalities. Okay, so in order to be able to describe these personalities well, you have to improve your vocabulary, and you need to note down these words for future reference. Okay, now are you ready for listening task number 2? This time you are going to listen to Sandra talking about the characteristics of a friend and Nicholas talking about a boss. Which words or expressions do they use to describe these people? Okay. This time you don't need to listen to, you don't need to jot down each and every word that you listen to, because this is a natural dialogue with a natural pace, and I just want you to use your summarizing skills and just note down the characteristics in words or phrases. So only note in words or phrases. Don't try to note down the complete sentences that Sandra or Nicholas speak. Okay, so are you ready for this listening task number 2? You are going to listen to a dialogue. You are going to listen to 2 speakers. First you will listen to Sandra. She will talk about the features or characteristics of a good friend. And then you will listen to a guy who's called Nicholas, and he is talking about boss. And while listening to these 2 dialogues, I would like you to note down words and expressions that have been used in order to describe these people. So I hope the instructions are clear. Are you ready for, I hope now you are ready for the audio. Okay.
Listen to Sandra talking about the characteristics of a friend and Nicholas talking about a boss. Which words or expressions do they use to describe these people?
Good friends. I'm afraid I'm a bit of a snob because I want my good friends to be rather like me, interested in many things, and likes to do things, and likes to have fun, and likes to share. I think having fun is so important. A good friend to me is somebody that you will be able to say things to, and they'll make you feel better just by talking to them. I think that's very, very important, that you have somebody to express your dilemmas to. Talking for me helps me solve my problems. I don't always pay attention to their answers, or I don't want any. I just want to talk. Good friends are very, very important to me. To have a friend to do something with, to share things with. I just think it would be very, very sad to not have any friends, and not necessarily somebody you have to share your life with, but somebody, just have people around you can count on, or call, let's do this, or call and say, I need to talk to you, I need to talk to somebody. Many, many reasons for good friends. They're very important.
I think that the perfect boss would be sometimes maybe even the perfect person, someone who is understanding as well as motivating, maybe even something like an encouraging acquaintance that you would have. So I've had bosses that were not quite so friendly or not quite so kind, but then I've had bosses that really went the extra mile to make sure that I understood what was going on and to continue motivating me to do better in my job so that he could probably have an easier job as well.
Okay, so you have just listened to the dialogue, and you've listened to Sandra and Nicholas. So I hope now you are ready for the answers. Okay, great. So here are the questions again. Question number 1 was, what words or expressions does Sandra use in order to describe a good friend? So Sandra thinks friends are very important, and she wants her friends to be, that's right, she wants her friends to be fun. She wants her friends to be good at listening. And she wants her friends to be interested in doing things. Maybe you wrote slightly different words, but as long as they mean the same thing, they are acceptable. So I think it is time to congratulate yourself, because you have understood the dialogue pretty well, and you have answered them. I'm sure you have answered them rightly. Okay, and Sandra also wants her friends to be sharing. They should share everything, and they should listen to the others. They should share things. Okay, move on to the second part of the listening task 2. Nicholas talks about good bosses being motivating. That's right, maybe you wrote this word. Being understanding, and being encouraging. So he thinks a good boss is motivating, understanding, and encouraging. All right, today I want you to listen to the native speakers quite a lot, so that you can have you have an exposure to the natural English, and you can improve your listening. Okay, in this listening task number 3, you are going to think about the kind of personalities you dislike the most. Maybe it's people who are unkind, or maybe you don't like lazy people. So I would like you to make a list of adjectives that you wouldn't like to see in your favorite personalities. For example, unkind, I dislike the people who are unkind. I dislike the people who are lazy. By the way, I dislike the people who are impatient. I dislike the people who are not punctual. Okay, and probably as teachers you also dislike the people who are not regular and punctual, or people who tell lies, etc., etc. So first I want you to make a list of those bad qualities or features, personality traits that you hate. Okay. Once you have made that list, I would like you to listen to this conversation. It's on the same topic. It's between two characters. One is called Sybil and the other one is Katie. So this is a dialogue between Sybil and Katie, and they are talking about the people whom they dislike. And I want you to note down what kind of people they don't like. And once again, you are not going to note down each and every word they speak. Instead, I just want you to be attentive, listen it carefully, and then pay attention to the words and expressions that they use in order to describe the personalities whom they don't like. So words like unkind and lazy, you should look out for them. You should note them down. You shouldn't note the whole sentences down. You should just look for words and expressions that they use in order to express their dislike for certain kind of people. Okay, so are you ready? Ready for listening task number 3? Great. Okay, here it is.
Think about the kinds of personalities you dislike the most. Maybe it's people who are unkind, or maybe you don't like lazy people. Now listen to a conversation on the same topic. Do we have the same ideas as you? Hi, Sybil.
Hi, Katie. How are you today?
I'm very good. We're sitting in the garden. It's a lovely day. You can hear the birds. So, yeah, I'm feeling good. But when we're going to talk about something which is maybe not the most positive or nicest thing, because we're going to talk about the kinds of personalities that we don't like.
That's very difficult for me because I like so many people, but I'm going to try hard.
Okay, well, we're not going to talk about particular people,
No.
but things about characters. So, for example, I really dislike rudeness.
Oh, yes.
Politeness is very important to me. So, when people are not polite, I hate that.
I agree with you. You can smooth out your conversation so well just with a little bit of manners at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please, thank you, sorry, whatever.
Yeah. Canadians are always saying, oh, I'm sorry, but...
The British too.
Yeah, we think of ourselves as very polite people.
And the other thing that I don't like is when people are, what's the word? I guess pretentious, which is quite a difficult word, but people sort of think that they are, or pretend to be
Better
different,
than they are.
special, better than they are, when there's no need.
That's true. Now, I don't know if you want me to give an example before we carry on to pretentious. I was going to say to you, here's something that really bugs me, Katie.
Okay.
And we're talking about rudeness.
Yeah.
People and their cell phones
Oh,
and
yeah,
their
that is
computers and things like that, and technology. When you walk into a room and somebody is watching television and they don't turn it off to talk to you.
Yeah.
And when people have their cell phones on all the time as they're walking, no matter what they're doing. They
And,
have
yeah, and I
these
think-
cell phones that get in the way of your conversation.
Yeah, and I think that shows a lack of respect for the other person, because it's almost like they are acting as though you're not interesting enough. You're not as interesting or more interesting than some TV program, or, you know, I hate it when people are texting when they're talking to you, because
Exactly.
again, it's rude. It doesn't show respect at all.
So, Katie, I would almost hesitate to say, but I think I would like to say that The cell phone alone has caused society to become rude almost overnight and almost everywhere.
Yeah.
Because
would
I
agree.
see people on their cell phones everywhere I've ever been now.
Yeah.
And they would rather be talking on their cell phone than experiencing what's really happening right now around them and in front of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find it very disturbing.
Yeah. So we both agree that that rudeness is a big one. We don't like that.
And it's getting worse. It's a
yes.
big one, and it's getting a lot worse fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely agree. The other thing, top thing for me, kind of personality character that I don't like is I really don't like unkindness. People
that's
being mean
huge.
for
That's
no
huge.
reason.
Yes. Well, I couldn't agree more with you there. Yeah.
I some people would say that it's not being genuine or true, but I think it's nicer sometimes not to say something, even if it's the truth, than to say something unkind or mean for no result.
Yeah, that might be another manners that's going out the window nowadays very quickly, don't you think?
Yeah.
People get used to watching television, and television's very chop, quick, and they don't have time for that sort
Yeah.
of manners. Yeah, I agree.
So be nice, everybody. Be nice.
Be kind. The Dalai Lama is on about kindness. He says that's more important than anything.
I agree.
But just to be kind to people is a wonderful thing, and unpretentious.
Yeah. And polite.
Okay, great. So you have listened to this activity, and I'm sure that you have noted down the words and expressions that they used. All right, are you ready for the answers then? Okay, Sybil and Katie dislike people who are... All right, now I want you to look at your own list. Did you write any of these in your list, the people whom you dislike? Did you include rude or pretentious or unkind people on your list? Maybe you didn't. Well, if I had made a list, I probably wouldn't have included the first two, rude and pretentious. I might have, although, included unkind. Okay, so I hope that after listening to these three different dialogues, you would definitely improve your listening skills, and you must have learned a lot of vocabulary which is related to describing people. All right, now we move on to the practice situation. And like before, I want you to look for a partner, so you can ask your friends or your colleagues or maybe your family members to help you out with that. If you can find class fellows who are doing the same course, that would be excellent. So find a partner, and then you are going to work in pairs. Make a list of your favorite celebrities. Okay, maybe you can think of 3 to 5 favorite celebrities. And who are celebrities, by the way? That's right. In lecture number 18, we learned that a celebrity is someone who is a famous person, a famous singer, a famous actor, a famous sportsman, a famous politician. They are all called celebrities. So make a list of your favorite celebrities, just between 3 to 5. Once you've made this list, I want you to orally describe these people one by one to your partner without showing them the list or without telling them who you are describing. And you should describe it in such a way that it shouldn't be very obvious for your partner to guess it, and it shouldn't be very vague either. So you should give hints to your partners that should help your partner to guess this celebrity. And once you have completed with your list, you can ask your partner to do the same with you. You can swap the roles, and you can do this again. And so this is how you are going to practice it. And earlier I told you that you should also look at various pictures of the people and try to describe them in your own words. If you write down few simple sentences, it will be okay, but I would appreciate if you can orally practice it by describing a person to someone. Okay, so that is the end of lecture number 19, and now we will have a quick recap of what we learned in lecture number 19. In lecture number 19, we learned how to describe people's physical appearances. And in particular, we looked at the vocabulary which is related to eyes, hair, face, build or height, clothing, and the general appearance. So you should actually make a list of these words in a notebook. Alright, then you also learned various words that describe personalities of the people, both positive and negative one. And we learned how to describe people using these adjectives. You also learned how to use descriptive adjectives and phrases in sentences. And in particular, you learned how to use descriptive adjectives, how to order adjectives before a noun if you have more than one adjective. And finally, you listened to various dialogues by the native speakers and you answered questions. We checked your comprehension, your listening skills, and in the meanwhile, you also learned a lot of vocabulary which naturally occurs in these dialogues, especially when you are describing someone. So with this, we come to the end of this lecture, lecture number 19, and I hope that today you have added an important skill to your repertoire, to your storehouse, and this will definitely help you become a proficient speaker. With this, I say Khuda Hafiz. Hope to see you again in the next lecture. Thank you.